Hey, friend. So I know you probably said this to yourself on many occasions, like you're smart, you are creative, you have amazing skill set, and you know that you outperform so many people in your space, in your field, in your industry, and things are not moving along. You have been consistent, but there's no traction. And you've said to yourself, is this worth it? Why am I doing this? I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. I feel like I'm doing all this work and nothing is happening. Nothing, there's no traction. Well, I'm here to tell you, friend, you're not alone. Even me, myself, have been in this space. But the point that I want to drive home today for you is to stay the course. That's right. Stay the course. And we're going to be talking about staying the course while navigating the federal market. If you're new here, welcome to my show. Welcome to the Executive Innovation Show. I'm your host, Chevy. And what I do as a business and SBIR consultant, I help tech founders and non-tech founders like yourself to break into the federal market. And what does that mean to you? That means helping you to position your company to in the federal market for federal opportunities, because you don't have the time, you don't have the team, and also you don't have the tolerance to break into the federal market on your own. And so businesses like yours work with me to help you position, because keyword is to position, and also create opportunities and partnerships so that you can leverage not only the federal market, but also those partnerships as well too. And another thing that I do with individuals is to help them to submit merit-worthy grants and SBIR proposal, because my goal is to help you to build a sustainable business that you can grow without burning out. So I'm your host. Welcome to the Executive Innovation Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new here, please drop a 1 in the chat so that I can welcome you. I like to, invite you to do that because, one, I get to know you. And also introduce you and say who you are in on this live, but also other people in the chat will get to learn about who you are and what you do. So come on in, drop in the chat who you are, where you're joining from, and what do you do, because you never know who may read your information and be like, hey, I need this person. I need to connect with this person, because part of what I do in my business development consulting is really helping businesses like yours to bridge the gap, create those partnerships, and you never know who is going to be watching and tuning in to that you can reach out to. So come on in. And if you've been here before, just say hello. Let me know how you're doing. And I'm streaming live here on LinkedIn, which is my main platform, along with YouTube. So definitely when you're done watching it over here, I want you to go over and subscribe to the Executive Innovation Show. And I'm here on Facebook as well too, but you can definitely catch me on LinkedIn and YouTube always. Okay. But welcome. Today we're talking about staying the course. Okay. And I'm going to be sharing 3 things on why you as a tech founder and even a non-tech founder, why it is critical for you to stay the course when you feel like giving up, because a lot of things that we are telling ourselves, especially when we are doing the work and we feel like, oh my goodness, I've been doing this for so many years and nothing is happening. Hey, Cedric, first of all, thank you for joining here live and in person. So definitely appreciate you. Please drop in the chat what you do, because I believe this is your first time joining live. So drop a 1 and also let the audience know what you do, because you never know who may need your services as a consultant. So please do that. But thank you for joining. And as I was saying, as a business owner, someone who, have multiple things that I love doing, whether that's leadership, whether that's consulting in the SBR space, writing proposal, doing submission, helping my clients to submit their first phase 1, whether it's business development consultant, I'm that person. I'm going to continue to move forward. But there are times when I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm doing all this stuff and there's leads, there's opportunities, but it's not coming to, into fruition, in the sense like it's taking longer. And I will say in the federal market space, yes, it will take longer. But as a small business, if you're trying to navigate into the federal market space, yes, I want you to stay the course. And having someone on your team is going to be key to help you continue on that momentum, because the goal is, yes, you start off strong, but we don't want to just kind of fall off, like when we're getting right there, because you can feel like something is about to happen soon, but you don't know when. And that's where I come in to make sure that you are not giving up, but you are continuing on that journey, giving you that motivation, but also that execution as well to get things done. I do have someone else, Glenn Roy. Thank you for joining. And he said, I think I'm new to your platform. Rochelle, Slate Queen, Hemingway is a mutual connection. Yes. Tuning in from Las Vegas, cannabis regulatory professional. Nice. Okay. Mental health professional, currently working on a personal training certification. Love it. Multi-passionate. Same here. So love all the things that you just shared. If you are looking for that type of support that Glenroy just displayed, please reach out. And thank you for joining, Glenroy. Appreciate you being here. And Cedric said he is an I1C UAS consultant. So definitely, and please share a little bit more. What that look like? What it is? Even just like a sentence or two, because maybe other people will be like, oh, what exactly is that? So please share that so I can share with my audience as well. Thank you for sharing. And today I want to share with you 3 things when it comes to staying the course while navigating the federal market. And we know as a small business, it's a lot. It's a lot on us because, like I said, you don't have the team, you don't have the tolerance, and you don't have the capacity to understand all the things that are needed, from the registration, from the connection and partnership, the proposal, the RFIs, all the different things. And the great thing about me and my background being, military, retiring, is I understand, not saying that I understand the full gamut of the government as a whole, because every agency is different and they may do things a little differently, but they're very similar. So I get to bring my experience, my skill set to help you succeed in this federal market, because I see people who don't have the skill set and the execution ability that I have, but they are successful because, again, they are staying the course. And some people, do it the right way. Some people do other things. But for me, it's about doing it with integrity, but also not doing so much that you lose traction because there's a lot of unnecessary work being done. And that is why it is important to stay the course. And one thing about the government is you have what they need. So this is why I'm asking you to share, because it could be a government agency, POC, watching this live later on, #replay, but you have what they need. Remember, the government as a whole, a big entity, is a big, hey, Slay Queen, thank you for joining. It's a big umbrella, and there's so many different resources that they need every single day. Okay, so whether you are doing UAS, drone stuff, if you're doing mental health training, if you're doing brand consulting like the Slate Queen, she does that. If you're doing cyber, if you're doing food service, if you're doing parts, weapons, all the different things, technology, like the government needs your services, whether it's service or a product, it is needed. And I'm saying that because I know this for a fact. I worked in the military for 22 plus years. And there were things that we needed that we did not have. And we had to go and put out a bid to get those items, that services, whether it's IT support, whether it's computer, whether it's paper, printing paper, whether it's printer, cell phones, different things, pencils, whatever we needed to go out. And yes, at one point, depending on the price level, we were able to go and source it on a specific to a locate from a store on base or somewhere else. But anything big item, big ticket, you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. Guess what? We need to create a contract. We need to put out a bid for someone to come in. So do understand that when it comes to the government, whatever you are building, whatever service you're providing, there is a need for it. Because the biggest thing with the government, it's not just, they're not looking for perfection. They want to know, do you have a solution for our current problems? And if you feel like you have a solution for the government current problems in your space, drop a 2 in the chat, please. Drop a 2 in the chat to let me know, let the audience know, let who is watching this later on, that you have a solution for the government based on your services and what you can provide. Okay? Because it's about problem solving. It's about problem solving, bringing a solution that's not going to take up a lot of time, resources. They want to make sure that you're competent to deliver on what you're saying that you can do. That is going to be key. All right. Glenn Roy said, Rashawn Hemingway, hello. Oh, top of the day to you. Okay. All right. And Cedric said very quickly, AUS consultant is a SME who advises organizations on detecting, identifying, and tracking and mitigating threats posed by drones and unmanned aircraft systems. So definitely, if you are in that space, please reach out to him, because more likely it is a top need for the government to make sure that we are ahead of our enemies. So definitely reach out to him, because more likely that is a need. Rochelle said too, yes. And that too represent you have a solution to provide to the government. Okay. So the next thing that you want to do when it comes to staying the course, we talked about, having, you have what the government needs. That is number one. That's why you want to make sure that you stay the course. The second thing is, this is a leadership game. And when I say leadership, not just like leading, like, okay, we're leading in the classroom or we're leading an organization or within the military, but really looking at your ability to self-lead in your business. That means lead your team, because the government wants someone who is a competent leader. Okay. Because we know if you are part of the military space, which I have a few in here, we understand that if you are not a competent leader to lead your team, to make decisions, effective decisions, okay, that's going to drive impact, that's going to drive result, and be able to lead under pressure, then we have seen that individuals, leaders in high position were released due to not being competent to lead. And we know there's other reasons, but they'll use that language. But when it comes to leadership, it's a game that you have to make sure that you show up as a strong and competent leader, because no one, when it comes to the government, wants to give you a contract and they feel like there's doubt, there's mistrust, and they feel like you cannot deliver, because they want to make sure that you have a solution to their problem, but also that you have the leadership skill set along with the team, the resources that you are saying that you are bidding on to execute and deliver on the specific contract on time. And this is what I do as your BD consultant. I position your company to be in alignment with what you are going after. We identify the key agency, because I am not the person that you're going to work with, that we're going to tap into all the different agencies, because for me, that is a lot of energy, a lot of resources, a lot of time being wasted. For me, it's about being intentional to make sure that you are not wasting your money, that you invest in me to help you get to that end point, and also make sure that you have the best opportunity so that you are positioned properly. So if you're looking for someone who's going to be all over the place, tapping all the different buckets, I'm not your person. Okay. I am not your person. I'm the one that want to make sure that you have that leadership. Okay. And you have the ability to lead through uncertainty, because we know we're dealing with a lot of craziness going on right now, and a lot of people are falling back. But again, do not allow the situation that you have no control of, you can't make any changes, to stop you from continuing on that momentum, because you might be right there. You might just need that support. You might just need that person in your corner to say, hey, we got this. I got you. I'm your strategic partner. Let's get it done, because you don't want someone who's going to say, you know what? Yeah, you tried. It's time to just call it quits. Not here. Okay. And I think I have people on here who can vouch for me to be like, yeah, we're going to move forward. Okay. So definitely having that leadership aspect is going to be key. And part of that is that self-leadership for you and that self-thought, because sometimes when we are going through life, going through all the things, definitely we will create that negative self-talk that keep us from moving forward. And we all have gone through some doubts. It happens every single day. But if you are that person, you have to learn how to shift your mindset. And that comes with the leadership aspect. That comes with the self-leadership. Okay. All right. Let's see what Glenn Roy says. All right. Glenn Roy stated, he said, number 2, because I asked the question, if you have a solution, he said, number 2, he said, I'm in a unique space as a cannabis regulatory professional and mental health professional with a medical cannabis certification. There's a broad gulf that needs to be bridged between mental health and medical cannabis, though it is not a popular thought, but every seed bearing plant is available for the healing of the body. there's a science that is dismissed based on the historic prejudice around the plant herb. Definitely, Glenroy, I think, there's all about holistic approach because I do have a wellness background. So I definitely understand you have something. I think the biggest thing is looking at how can you position this for the government. And yes, it may not be something that's going to be like initiative, like in the door right away, but it goes back to talking to the right person and being connected to the right person, because this could be something in medical science. This could be something with, National Institute of Science. So, or an NIH, National Institute of Health. So it's like, there's different vehicles that you can tap into. And when you're not aware of the different opportunities, it's like you're going around, this big circle where you're like, hey, where do I start? Where do I begin? And for me, it's really helping you to decipher all of that without you having to do the work as your BD consultant. And even if you're going through the sbir process, it's the same concept, because a lot of times we, especially diverse individuals, have no clue until we connect with someone or we find out through being in the room. Okay. So definitely there's opportunities for you, Glenroy. So we talked about having a solution that the government needs. We talked about leadership being, at the forefront as self-leadership, but being able to lead and competently lead. Let me slow down. To competently lead and be able to execute, because again, you are the CEO of your business. And if you're not able to make decisions, effective decisions, because in the military, we got to make decisions. And sometimes those decisions are just made on the fly with a little bit information. Okay. We don't have all the information, but we got to decide. And you have to be that competent leader who's able to decide, even though you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. Okay. And the third thing is momentum looks quiet before it gets loud. And I think all of us probably have experienced this, whether it's in life, whether it's in a career experience where you were doing all the things and then it's just like got quiet, and then you got that promotion, or that client came through, that client signed the contract, or you want a contract for the first time, or someone say, hey, we want to hire you as a subcontractor because you have been doing the work, you have been visible, you have been consistent, you've been showing up. But if you're not doing that because you're like, things are not happening, then that momentum will go away. Then it's like you're starting from the beginning. And I don't want you to start from the beginning. I want you to continue where you're at. Okay? Because it's all about staying the course. Because I want you to think like a big company. They don't stop. They're going to continue and continue and continue. Like I was doing some research on the company Khaki. Okay. And they started since could be 1962, 1964, could have the year number wrong, but in the 1960s, and they're still going strong. And they started with 2 founders. And now I don't even know how many employees they have, more likely probably thousands, okay? Because we're in 2025 and they started in the 60s. So as a small company, I want you to think big. You're a big vision person. So I want you to think big when it comes to your company, not just creating, not just developing, not just building. It's about continuing when you want to give up. Exactly, Queen. We don't stop. Okay. And you are living proof. I am living proof. Like no matter what we have going on in life, because we have a vision of where we want our business to go, the impact we want to make, the lifestyle that we want to have. And you do too. Okay. So don't stop. If you're like, hey, I have an amazing innovation, but I just don't know where to start, then reach out to me. I have my Beyond the Gap incubator, which is really focused on helping individuals who are new to sbir to build a foundation, but also tap into those opportunities. Okay. And if you're like, you know what, Chevy, I'm doing well on the commercial side, but I'm ready to tap into the federal market, but I don't know where to start. And you're looking for someone that you can trust. Number one, someone who can execute and help you deliver on the things that you're trying to tap into when it comes to the federal market. And you know that it's not just in contract, but it's also in building relationships, creating new partnerships, then that is what I can support you with when it comes to business development consulting, helping you to optimize how you execute, helping you to optimize how you lead in your business. Because for me, BD is not just, hey, let's get into the federal market, but how do we make sure that you are positioned holistically? Okay, that's in your leadership, that's in how the opportunities, partnership, federal opportunities, but also how you lead your team as well. So when it comes to staying the course while navigating in the federal market, you have to continue with that momentum. You started strong, and yes, we all start with this. It's like the graph. We start, we go straight up, and we're happy, we're having a good time. Then it's like we feel like we're stuck, and then what happens? Our momentum starts dropping, and it gets lower and lower to the point we give up, and we stop, and we get out of business. Or we can say, you know what? I'm feeling stuck right here. Let me get this boost to where I can get back up to where I need to get to. And that could be, hey, self-activation, or hiring someone to help you kind of continue on that path, on that journey. Okay. All right, Glenroy said, and if you're feeling this conversation, drop a 3 in the chat, because I like to have interaction. I have that, teaching facilitation background. So I like this to be interactive. So Glenroy said, competence is the professional space, looks like structure, pragmatic passion. It is easy to get caught up and caught off guard with peripheral notions instead of staying the course. Exactly. It's all about competence in the professional space. And you got to make sure that you are able to create that structure, not only for the company that you're serving, but for yourself, okay? For yourself, for your business, because when you're able to create that structure, you are able to create that same process for your business as well too. Because what I've noticed, and I've had conversations with quite a few individuals who are looking to tap into the federal market, they don't have the structure. They're doing things, but the foundation and the structure is not there. Okay. And Glenroy said 3, Cedric said 3, and Rochelle said 3, and she's driving. Be safe out there. Okay. So definitely, when it comes to the federal market space, is it easy to navigate? No. Okay. I'm going to be realistic with you. It takes time. But if you're looking for long-term growth, sustainable growth, then yes, you want to put that work in, because like I said, the big companies, they're bringing in people in left and right to support them. Yes, they have a bigger, pocket that they can spend. I do understand that. But also you have financial, if you want it, you get to choose. You can either stay stuck, or you can say, you know what, I've been trying this, or I don't have no clue, but I'm like, hey, I'm ready to up level where I go, how I build my business, how I build my team. Then maybe it's time for you to say, hey, let me reach out to Chevy, or reach out to another BD who can support you with your needs when it comes to growing and sustaining your business long term as you tap into or prepare to break into the federal market. So it's not about just doing the work, okay? And it's not about giving up. It's about looking at, okay, how can I stay the course? Because this next journey that I want to be on, which is the federal market space, it may be challenging. It may be overwhelming. But I don't have the full capacity and time to tap into that on my own. So why not say, hey, you know what, let me reach out to someone who I trust and believe can help me to build that foundation, because the number one thing is building the foundation to be set up for success. It's not just diving straight in and say, hey, let's apply for this contract. It's really building that relationship and making sure that your company has that strategic roadmap to say, hey, here's where we're going when it comes to this vehicle to the federal market. This is what we're doing to make sure that we are aligned with these specific agencies that are actually buying our services, buying our products, because we can see based on the data that, oh, this organization spent X amount of money on this specific services or this specific product. So now we know we're not going in blindly. We know that they are actually buying your products and services, because my goal is to set you up for success by helping you to build that strategic foundation. And you can have a plan to say, hey, this is what I want to go after. And we're not going after every single thing. We're being very intentional with what we are going after. So any questions drop it in the chat. I would love to answer any question that you may have. But I want to thank Rochelle for being here, Glenroy and Cedric. Thank you so much for joining live. Appreciate you all being here. But the three things that we covered today, honestly, one, the government needs a solution. So you have a solution for them. That's number one. And believe that. Don't think because you're a small business, oh, does the government, want what I have? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because like I said, served in active duty for 22 plus years, we buy everything. Okay. When we are in, whether it's readiness, meaning someone passed away, guess what? I need mortuary flags. I need caskets. Guess what? We got to outsource that. So definitely they buy everything. Leadership, you got to be able to lead and not just like, hey, I'm a leader. No, you have to showcase, display, execute in that capacity, because with the government, they want to make sure that you can execute, you can lead, and you're a competent leader to take on this $1 million project that we are awarding you, for example. So definitely, and also that momentum. Don't let your momentum stop because you feel like nothing is happening. You never know. You might be right there and you just need that little nudge to get you over. Because again, on that slope, we want to go high. And yes, some days we're going to go like this, but guess what? We don't want to go all the way down. We want to be like this, but then we go straight up. Okay. So if you're in the space and you're looking for support as when it comes to business development and you're looking to tap into the federal market, break in, that means you have not gotten the opportunity, you don't have the time, you don't have the team, you don't have the tolerance, and you're like, I would love to get some support in that space before quarter 3 ends, so you can build that foundation. So when quarter 4 is here, which will be the first fiscal quarter, the quarter 4 will be just the regular quarter 4, but that will be the first quarter for the federal government, which is October 1st. So if you are thinking of like, hey, I want to have that foundation, I want to have that strategic plan so that you can be set up for success and in alignment with what you're trying to do within your business, then reach out to me. You can send me a DM. You can say, hey, Chevy, I just want to learn more. I'm curious, whatever that is. Again, I am not going to be selling you to say, hey, you need to work with me. We're going to have a conversation. And then you get to decide if you want to move forward. And I will share with you, here's what that looks like when it comes to business development, which is the strategic planning, understanding your business, giving you that roadmap, doing the research on your behalf, because again, you don't have the time. But if you're like, hey, I'm not looking for BD right now, but I have an amazing innovation, and you're like, hey, I want to learn about sbir, then reach out to me about my Beyond the Gap incubator. Okay. I would love to show you and help you build that foundation in 6 weeks so that you can have what you need to start applying for your phase 1 SBIR or STTR proposal. All right. Let me see what Glenroy said. He said there are lots of problems that the government doesn't realize that it has. Search for the problems and frame a solution. Exactly, Glenroy. Like and honestly, they are aware of a lot of the problems. And that's why when it comes to sbir, which is a small business innovation research, they are, like Department of Defense, every first Wednesday, they are putting out hundreds of topics to say, hey, here's the problems that we have and we need solutions. And individuals are going there and researching, and that's what I have to do for my client, is going to the different agencies and looking at, okay, based on my client's needs, what topics is aligned with what they're trying to do, what the solution that they have. So it's do I believe they know all of their problems? Of course not. Okay. But I do believe that they have a high number of, here's our problem, that here are the list of problems that we have. And I think for us as business owners is building that relationship and having conversations. Is not just going and researching the different topics and things that they may have listed, but really talking to those individuals. And this is what I do on behalf of my clients, is going out and doing the outreach on their behalf. Unless if you have the time, then I can show you how to navigate that aspect to build those genuine relationships. Because when it comes to the federal space, it's not just researching, it's not just applying, it's really looking, okay, who do I need to talk to months ahead to build that relationship, whether it's, the contracting officer or a program manager for that specific organizations, but identifying, okay, who is the person that you need to speak to to start building and truly understanding their actual problems. Glenn Roy said, ABT, always be thinking. Okay, that's a new one. Always be thinking and always have a solution. Always have a solution. Love that. All right. So if there are no questions, I want to thank you all for joining. Again, thank you, Glenroy, for the insight, your thoughts, your comments. Same, Cedric. Thank you so much. And Rochelle, the Slay Queen. Thank you all for sharing your thoughts on this topic. And if if someone is out here listening, you're like, hey, I need to get with Rochelle for Brandon, Cedric for UAS, and Glenroy for the different things that he does from, the cannabis for mental health and soon to be personal trainers. Hey, he can come into your organizations to provide wellness, and a holistic approach. Definitely please reach out to them. But I want to say thank you all for joining me. #replay if you're watching this later on. And it's really about staying the course, especially when you are navigating this federal market. Cedric said, thank you, needed to hear this. You are more than welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And if you're watching this, like I said, #replay. If you're joining for the first time, drop a 1 and share in the comment what you do, where you're joining from, because you never know who is listening, who is reading. But I'm your host, Chevy, and I want to say thank you for joining me in the Executive Innovation Show. And as your host, I help tech founders and non-tech founders to break into the federal market, especially the ones who don't have the time, the team, or the tolerance to tap into the federal space. But also I help you with grant and SBIR support so that you can submit merit-worthy proposal, because my goal is to help you build a sustainable business that you can grow without burning out. And as always, join me next Wednesday on the Executive Innovation Show. And it's all about, helping you to succeed in this space, because I know you don't have the time. I do. You don't have the capacity. I do. So definitely reach out and share this live with someone that like, hey, you need to listen to Chevy. And also check out my newsletter that is released every Tuesday right here on LinkedIn. And as always, thank you all for joining, but also have an amazing day as well, too. I will see you all next Wednesday.